Hey guys, this is Dr. Hub. Today we'll look at the muscle fibers, and under muscle fibers we are going to look at the microanatomy. So here are some important points we need to know in terms of the muscle microanatomy. So each muscle they consist of, a muscle, each muscle they consist of muscle fibers, and each skeletal muscle, this is muscle, contains muscle fibers. And what about skeletal muscles? The skeletal muscle is basically multinucleated. It is multinucleated and it is bounded by the sarcolemma. So there is bounded by the presence of the sarcolemma. So there is presence of sarcolemma, and this sarcolemma it encloses the sarcoplasm. So this encloses the sarcoplasm, as well as the smooth muscles, and the cardiac muscles are uninucleated. And other thing to note is the cardiac muscle. The cardiac muscle is uninucleated. Next, within the sarcoplasm, so we have a sarcoplasm. So within the sarcoplasm there are several hundred nuclei. There are several hundred nuclei, and they are arranged in the periphery just beneath the sarcolemma. They are arranged in periphery. So several hundred nuclei, they are arranged in the periphery, and they are just beneath the sarcolemma. They are beneath sarcolemma. Next we look at the sarcoplasm. The sarcoplasm, it consists of evenly distributed longitudinal threads. So it has evenly distributed longitudinal threads. So what are they? They are known as the myofibrils. They are nothing but the myofibrils. And there is each myofibril. So when you look at myofibril, each myofibril consists of a thick. So each myofibril, they have a thick. So what is this thick? The thick means it is myosin. Next, it also has thin. So what is thin? Thin means it is actin. So they have the thick, that is myosin filaments, as well as thin, that is actin filaments. So what they do is they overlap each other. So they overlap each other. So next is a portion of the myofibril which contains a thick filament. So portion of the myofibril. So the portion of the myofibril, it consists of a thick filament. So it has a thick filament. So this thick filament is nothing but the A band. So it is A band or the dark band. So it is A band or the dark band, and the portion of the myofibrils. Then next there is another portion of the myofibrils, and this is going to be between two A bands. The portion of the myofibrils between two A bands. So between two A bands, it consists of thin filaments. So we are comparing the A bands and what is in between them. So in between them, it consists of thin filaments. So there's presence of a thin filament, and what is this thin filament called? The thin filament is nothing but the I band or the light band. So it is the I band or the presence of the light band. Next, in A band, it consists of, so what we are understanding or learning is that the A band, it consists of both. So it consists of both. There is thick filaments as well as the thin filaments. And whereas I band, it consists of only the thin filaments. I is considered for the thin filaments. So in between the A band, so in the middle of A band, so middle of the A band, what is present in the middle of A band? In the middle of the A band, there are only thick filaments. So, in middle of A band, there are thick filaments, and there are no overlapping thin filaments. There is no overlapping thin filaments. No overlapping thin filaments. So, there are only thick filaments. And this zone, where there is only thick filaments and no overlapping filaments, this is known as the H zone. So, the middle of H zone, there is a M band. So, middle of H zone, there is a M band. There is a middle is known as the M band. So, the middle of the I band. So, in middle of the I, so if this is I, in the middle of the I, there is a dark. So, middle of I, there is a dark Z disc, or it is known as a Croce's membrane. Cross membrane. Now, the segment of the myofibril between the two Z disc, okay, the segment of myofibril, and this is between two Z disc, between two Z disc. This is nothing but the sarcomere. So, this is a functional unit of the muscle, very important. So, it is the area between the two Z discs.